What do I talk about? Hey, it's been a really long time since I last vlogged. I think the last time I vlogged was like last year for Pride. I think I came out on the internet and then I was like, okay, bye, and just never vlogged again. Um, and to be honest, I can see why. I feel like I don't have a very good laptop for vlogging. It picks up sound funny. I don't really have time. Um, Obviously, I don't have lighting or a set. Like, you can. What is going on? It's so messy. Basically, my mental health, my mental well being has sucked since I was like 13. And, back then I thought it was just like puberty. I thought like, oh, everybody's suicidal. It turns out not everybody is suicidal. Um, and you should do something about it if you are feeling that way. Um, but the start of this year, it kind of hit me that like, my God, this year I'm gonna be 22, and I started feeling shitty when I was 13. That's 9 years. That has been 9 years of my life just like eaten up by feelings of like everything sucking and like not feeling like I could do anything and like unhealthy relationships and everything. And I just realized like I cannot keep doing this. I cannot keep telling myself that I don't need help because I very obviously do need help. Um, and so about a month ago, I bit the bullet and I went to a psychologist. I think I went to a psychiatrist. I'm still like figuring things out. Some people like know all this stuff about mental health stuff. And I'm not one of them. I just know that mine is bad, but I want it to be good. And leading up to the appointment, I was scared. Um, my biggest fear was that I was gonna get there and sit down and he was just gonna look at me and say, there's nothing wrong with you. This is just like your default state of being. And, like, I'm sorry, there's nothing wrong with you. Like, this is just how adulthood is like. Like, this is just you. This is just your personality. And then, like, I would come back feeling like, well, there's nothing wrong with me. Everything just really does suck. Which it shouldn't, because like I recognize that I'm a very privileged person. I have so many things. I have light skin privilege. I have like Chinese privilege, even though I'm not even fully Chinese, but I have like the privilege of speaking very fluent English. I went to like a really good primary school and secondary school, and I grew up with money. Like we were never short of money. I was never made to worry about like my finances when I was small, and so basically I was born with a silver spoon up my butt. I don't know what the saying is, but like whatever it was, I had it up my anus. I was scared that like, what if after all these years the only problem with me is that I don't know how to count my blessings. Because I mean I grew up in church, so a lot of the time that was what was preached to me, that if I had troubles it was because I didn't read the Bible enough, or like I didn't pray enough, or like I and I was scared. Um, but I went for the appointment, and so I came out of it with a diagnosis of bipolar. I don't have bipolar. Why did I say that? Of borderline personality disorder and depression, and um, and when I heard that, like I just everything just kind of like made sense. Like in my head, I was like, whoa. All those times I felt like I wasn't being productive because I was just a lazy person. And I see it now. It's like I wasn't lazy, I was just depressed. With the borderline personality disorder, I think is something that has taken me a bit more getting used to, because I saw the depression coming. I didn't see the BPD coming. Because I guess like this is gonna sound really sad, but nowadays everybody has depression. Like everybody's depressed, and like so you hear about depression a lot, on like in like film and television and like in books and stuff. Everybody's fucking depressed, and like so it was very easy for me to go like, well, yeah, I can see that. And before I even got my diagnosis, I had kind of like self-diagnosed. I was like, I probably have depression. Like, that makes sense. Um, but obviously with like BPD, there's not as much out there about it, even though I'm now realizing that quite a lot of people have it or like are on the spectrum of it. Um, and like I've always heard of like personality disorders as like something the media just kind of demonizes, like, oh, like they're all serial killers and stuff. So I didn't know about it, and I didn't read up about it, so I didn't think that like maybe that's me, maybe that is something to look into. So I didn't, and then and now that I have found out that it is something to look into, I have been looking into it, and honestly, it has helped so much because things just make sense. So like I've always struggled with relationships, like people relationships, when I was in my like early teens. God, I sound so old. I'm not even old, but it's like early teens. Like, when was that? 1946? I love old people. I can't wait to be an old people. But like, anyway, that's not the point. The point is, when I was in my early teens, especially, like, obviously we were all cringy and we were all awkward, and I kind of just assumed, well, like, I just have trouble finding friends because of my dad. Sorry, Dad. It's not because of you, but like, I love my dad so much. He's like the best person ever, and like, so supportive and so loving. But obviously he can't control the fact that, growing up his career, he's an actor, and being an actor means he's in the limelight a lot. And when I was younger, he was more prominent, and in primary school even, like that kind of like that affected the way I made friends. Because a lot of people didn't want to be my friend. They just wanted to see what my house was like. I think throughout primary school, I didn't realize it, but I had a lot of insecurity regarding my friends and like who my friends were, or like who my real friends were, and yeah. So I mean, like, I've never really felt like confident as a friend maker. Like, some people just like, I can't snap, but if I could, that would have been cool. Some people, like, they just know, like they can just walk into a room and they're like, yeah, I like you, like, let's be friends. And I could never do that. Like, like, even now it takes me ages before like I'm like, I don't know where I was going with this. Oh yeah, the BPD. So like so I've always kind of been bad at like forming relationships, and occasionally I would find someone that like I really like, and like suddenly my like whole world would just like revolve around them, and it would get really, really intense. Like, I would just do things because I wanted their approval, or I would like change my mannerisms because I wanted to be like them. And they would just like kind of like make or break my day, and I kind of like didn't really know what was going on, because in my head I was like, I'm really I'm really attached to this person, so it must be because like I like them like as a friend or whatever. But that attachment always got super, super unhealthy. Like, I mean, like, I got this way with like a guy when I was like really young, and then that led me to like a bunch of like sexual problems that like I should not have been like in that situation that young, but I was, because I just wanted his approval. And then, later on it was with my best friend at the time, and it got super intense to the point where like I was very possessive and I was very jealous over like her as a person, and I just, I had no other friends, and I just wanted to be with her all the time. Granted, I think part of that was like my homosexual tendencies coming out. I was like, I love you, but I didn't know that yet. And it's just kind of like always been something that I do. And prior to this diagnosis, I was always like, you know what? I'm just always making friends with like toxic people. Like, I always get myself into like toxic situations, or like maybe I'm just really bad at making friends. So I always make friends with people who are like not compatible with me, and then we end up like, and then I read about the like favorite person thing that that people with BPD tend to have. So what it is a lot of people with BPD have like a favorite person, or FP for short. Is not a Riverdale thing. Riverdale sucks. Like, it sucks. It's so bad. I cannot watch it anymore. I watched like, I think, a season, and then somehow they kept making it. Uh, okay, this okay, this vlog is not about Riverdale. Yeah, so like, favorite person, or FP for short, is basically a person that like I or anybody with BPD might, we idolize this one person, and like we look for their approval, and just like we overread into like the subtext of what they do and what they say, and like we're not like, we feel the need to constantly check that they like us, and sometimes we adopt their mannerisms because we just like want to be like them, and yeah, and like the slightest thing they do or say can like make or break our entire day. um and it's not really something I can control. It's not really something I think anybody can control. Like, I don't go out there like, I am going to fixate over you. It just kind of happens, and like a lot of times it happens with people that I'm not necessarily expecting it to happen with. um and what this means is that for me, a lot of the times what has made the relationship toxic has been my BPD. Surprise! It could have been a completely like normal relationship. It could have been a normal friendship. It could have been, but I get way too intense with it, and then I want so much from that person that I think sometimes that pushes them away. Like how intense I am about the friendship, and how like badly I just want to like be theirs. I shouldn't have made this video because now people are gonna watch it and be like, oh, I don't want to be her friend. She's weird. But this is about me being more open about my mental health and my mental state. Because I feel like people don't really talk about the ugly side of like mental illness like this. And I didn't know about it. I didn't know that like my terrible like toxic behavior to my friends was actually a mental health thing. I just thought I was a shitty friend. Like, and maybe if the media hadn't demonized like mental illness so much, if it had been easier to get help when I was younger, yeah, maybe things wouldn't have happened the way they happened. I think I hurt a lot of people. I regret a lot of things. And now I'm 22, and I'm realizing I sometimes still make the same mistakes I was making when I was like 13, which I shouldn't be, because you should grow as a person, and yet here I am still looking like I belong in kindergarten. So the point is, I'm a long way from this being healthy. I'm talking about my mental health, but yeah, also my bleached hair, my mind. And honestly, like some days it feels like it's never gonna get better. It feels like I'm always trying to get over this thing that I'm never gonna be able to get over. Just yesterday I was like crying my eyes out because I was like, what if I never get better and then I can never have children because I'm just gonna pass the negativity onto them. But I am starting to learn that like getting better isn't like a linear path. It's, you don't just like, sometimes you regress, and sometimes you get better, and then sometimes it's not better. But we hope for the best, and we're like always moving. And there was no like moral of the story to this video. I just really wanted a vlog. But if you are watching this and you're not like Gabby from the future, ooh, because I do watch my own videos. Like let's be real, we all watch our own videos because we're like, oh, she's so cute. Um, um, yeah, if you're watching this and you're not me, like go for therapy. Like go for help. Go for help. Go for help. Like go for therapy, get help, have a support system, have a support network, like talk to your friends about your feelings. And sometimes it can be hard to look yourself in the butt and the face and say, you know what, it's time to get help. So I'm doing that for you. You know what, it's time to get help. Because I didn't think it was going to make a big difference. I didn't think it would do anything for me, but like just the diagnosis has helped. Like just knowing that like there are these things that I have, that other people have, that other people are doing things to not have, has been really helpful. And I really urge you to also get that kind of help and that kind of support, because come on, like sometimes the world is shitty, and it might still be shitty when we are not depressed, because a certain someone is still the president of the United States. And Brexit's still happening. Like, what is up with that? What are white people doing? But like, but I think the world would be slightly less shitty if like our mental health was better. So get help. Like, look after yourself. Rest. Have off days. Otherwise words. Yeah. Happy mental health day, because every day is a day to take care of your mental health. I don't know what I'm talking about anymore. I'm gonna stop the video, but peace out.